Welcome to the Car Queens podcast, powered by
Drive Crescent,
where women are in the driver's seat and run the show.
Welcome back to the podcast. I am here today with Lieutenant Mary Frantz. She is in the driver's seat today. She is with Aiken County Sheriff's Department. Mary, welcome to the podcast.
Well, thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for coming on today. I am so excited. We have not had a police officer on today, but you carry many titles, not just that. You're a mommy of a 4-year-old.
I am.
Congratulations. Your husband is also in the police department for 23 years. Is that right?
He is. He
That's
works
awesome.
for North Augusta Public Safety.
Okay. Well, you're from Michigan. Welcome to the South. You've been here a while.
Yeah, I'm saying.
Yeah,
That's good. I think y'all have a name for that.
She said y'all, so she's official. She's official. So tell us a little bit about what made you want to get into law enforcement. I know you went to school for criminal justice, and what made you transfer over into that line of work?
Long time ago now.
Right. It's been a minute.
I started as a police cadet, but before that, actually, when I got out of high school, I was like, oh, I want to go into engineering. Always had an interest in that. I went to a tech school for hydraulics, pneumatics kind of stuff.
Right.
So that's what I was into. And then a lot of stuff happened, and it really changed my drive. I wanted to help people more than do things.
Wow.
If that makes sense.
You get out of school and start living life a little bit. You do. People
Absolutely.
pivot. I get
Absolutely.
that. Totally.
So I went to a local police department and became a cadet. And my older brother was also a police cadet. And we had an uncle in our family that was a police officer, an investigator, went through all the different
There's so many
divisions
branches,
and
yeah.
everything. And it was just very interesting, especially where he ended up. He was a police chief and just kind of like the first real law enforcement mentor
Mhm.
that I would say that my older brother and I both had. And when I got going in that, I was like, well, this is it. This is what I want to do. I did ride-alongs with police officers
Kind of gets in your blood.
and went to school. And then it turned into a situation where, like, you're done with school. Now it's the academy. Well, up there, it's different where you pay to go to the police academy.
Oh,
It's like
interesting.
school.
Okay.
So you're not hired by anywhere yet, and
Okay.
you're still paying for it, but it's Monday through Friday
So
out
it's
of
a full-time
town.
job. My
Yeah, and
gosh.
you don't get paid. And I just wasn't, I was living on my own,
Mhm.
so I wasn't in a position to be able to do that. So I started working in loss prevention at a retail
Gotcha.
store. And then I was like, oh, well, I'm getting older. I need a job with insurance. And this one isn't happening. So I went into like management and then ended up moving down here with, followed a boy. But
So many girls do that.
yeah,
But there was a reason for it,
there's
right?
a reason.
There's a
for
reason.
it. So then I applied at the sheriff's office and at New Ellington down here. That was in 2009.
I was so excited to
And
read that because I grew up in New Ellington as a little girl. So that's a sweet little
so it
spot.
was yes, interesting.
Yeah.
Especially to start your law enforcement career. And
Sure.
from going from Michigan to
New Ellington,
Ellington,
South
it was-
Carolina. Yeah.
it was a culture shock. I mean, it was
I get that.
so different. Not even just New Ellington, the South.
The
It
South.
was very different. Went to the academy, which here, you get hired by an agency
Mhm.
and they start paying you right away. And then they send you to the academy and then you come back and you do like field training. And then
Hey.
you're a police officer.
Sure.
So I started down there and like my eyes were open to a lot. And I seen the style of how the sheriff's office operated. And I was like, I need something bigger than this.
Mhm.
I need more. And there was some other things, that
Sure.
you live, you learn. And
For those that don't know, the difference in our area with the sheriff's department versus the city police is just that the sheriff's department patrols the entire county. They're over the whole county, whereas the city police is just over the city limits,
just
basically.
their few
So there's a little
square
different.
miles.
Yeah, a
And,
few square miles.
and the other thing, it's, I'm grateful for my start and being exposed to all the things that I was, and I learned a lot.
So tipping your toe in New
But with the
Ellington probably helped.
divisions, it's like, yeah, with New Ellington, you have a case
Mhm.
and you work it completely. At the sheriff's office, when you're on road patrol, you take the calls for service, and it's more like you do the report. When it's a bigger scale crime,
Sure.
it then gets transferred to investigations.
Okay.
So then that's what, the biggest difference is. The sheriff's office has all these different divisions.
Mhm.
And when I feel like when you're really into it, you're like, "Oh, this is where I want my career to be." You've
Right.
established that. You need to kinda move to bigger agencies where there's room for growth.
Sure.
You can be exposed to different divisions, and there's places for you to go grow in this aspect. Investigations, like, with them, they have special operations, they have community policing, warrants teams, all
Hmm.
that kinda stuff, and I was like, "That's what, I wanna go and do more." There are
Mary has
not
a
a lot of
couple supporters here today
oh,
alongside supporting her. I think that's awesome.
they make me nervous.
So when she says they're watching from the side.
My lovely assistants.
That's right. Females
Because
supporting females. I
because
love it.
ultimately, this being asked to speak about a career where it's male dominated. I mean,
Yeah.
they're my sisters. They've grown with me. They have been there for the ride. They've known me since the very beginning. And
That's why we do this podcast. So female supporting females all over in different aspects. We're
yeah,
obviously male in a male dominated world as well, which is what I was talking to them before you got here. Is huge. And we have to stand out and support each other.
absolutely. Because I think with any one of us, if this was presented 12 years ago, you wouldn't have the same response from us.
That's
We're not the same
exactly right.
people, and we didn't have the relationships that we have now. And I don't think any of the females in law enforcement, especially at that agency, had a relationship with each other unless it was, maybe two people that
Hmm.
worked close in a division. They got along
Hmm.
and they
Sure.
probably went to lunch together and stuff, but
It wasn't a
the
sisterhood
the
like it is now.
culture was very, very different,
Isn't that
when you walked
crazy?
in the doors, and you felt very alone, I'd
Hmm.
say.
You're on your own.
A
Good
lot of
luck.
things have happened, and we've all went to a lot of different training, that's brought us together and opened our eyes to a lot of things, and, of course, growing and maturing just in life.
You realize how important it is to support each other.
Absolutely. So I think
Agree.
I love the way it is now there
Hmm.
because it's much more of a group. I don't think that there's any female officers that are established now, at least a year in,
Hmm.
that feel the way. I mean, I don't know how Savannah was, but probably the same when we walked in the door. I don't want them to feel that way.
Right. Well, you
It's
just said in the beginning of the podcast, the word mentorship, and that's huge for us. So you were mentored by someone in your family, and now you guys could mentor the younger women and men that are coming into this field to make them feel a little more supported and at home because you do feel like you're. I can't imagine as a police officer how you feel coming into a male dominated business of any kind is very it's a little scary, but like you say, you're more of a sisterhood now and you can mentor them, which I think is very cool. I don't know how many females are wanting to get into law enforcement at this time, but you would think that there would be more with guys like you out there handling things the way you do.
I think it's really picked up. And I think a huge factor in that is the men that are in leadership roles
Hmm.
in the last few years are a different culture of policing than they
Nice.
were 20 years ago. For instance, North Augusta has not really had a lot of females. Over the last year and a half, their female force has grown. And, that comes with changes in leadership. And I'm excited for them.
That's great.
I try to reach out and get to know them so that they know that they're not alone because none of us are alone. We know the stuff that they're experiencing. A lot of us, we've already been there. So let's reach out and be somebody for them versus
Sure.
them just thinking they're alone in it. And it's already hard,
Yeah,
you know?
definitely.
Um
Why make it
Working with
harder?
all these men, and it's not just men. I mean, men that are police officers, they're
Different breed?
they're characters, they're a force sometimes, and
I can imagine.
so making sure you stand on your own feet
There you
and
go. And show them that you're there
mhm,
for the right reasons, that you're there to do a job and do it well.
absolutely.
Well, we have a mutual friend, Kevin Creed, and he suggested you for the podcast. And when Emily reached out and we heard a little bit about your story, we were so excited. I'm like, she has to come on. This is awesome. This is so great. They were so excited to tell me about you and all the things you've been through. And for him to, and he's been in the law enforcement business for a long time. And
As
I love to hear that male police officers are promoting the females. It's not you against them. Y'all are a team. You have to work together, but you also have to be accepted as a team and promoted and looked out for like a team. So that's good to hear that the whole atmosphere has changed a little bit in law enforcement.
yeah,
Yeah. My husband, well, obviously, he's been in the car business his whole life, and I've worked alongside him now, and we work together. But he told me early on in our marriage, he said, if I wasn't in the car business, I would love to be a cop. I'm like, what? That's crazy. So all of our kids were raised on the cops TV shows and on Patrol Live. He loves all of that. So it's near and dear to our heart anyway, but joking around with that, we appreciate what you guys do because I can't imagine, the things that y'all have seen and done for protecting our people here. So it's just incredible. So what you're saying is some of the training that you have that brought you guys together. Was that some of the female officer street survival
It is.
training? Is
It
that
is.
is that bonding for y'all as well
I
as
think it's probably the first.
educational?
I think it's the first time we ever bonded.
Wow.
Um, so Tina Gooding, who started that, actually kind of that was in 2010. Well, next week, oops, sorry.
You're good.
Next week is the last female officer street survival course that she's
That's a
doing. She's
shame.
officially retiring. Yeah.
You might
So
need to keep it going.
mixed feelings about that.
Pass the torch to you.
Well, there's been some talks.
That's awesome.
When I first went to it, I heard about it, and we had a road patrol officer and I think a reserve. This 2010 was it? 2011, something like that. It was a long time
Wow.
ago. They went and they had to pay for themselves to go. I don't know if they got their ammo paid for. That might have been the only thing. They had to go on their own time, all this stuff, which it's training. It
Right?
should have been paid for, the way you
Absolutely.
look at it. So this
Sure.
is just to also show you how different it is
Mhm.
with our agency, who, let me plug real quick, has been very supportive to the
Yes.
females the last few years. Like, they have really changed and
Mhm.
shown the support and, understood why we're asking to go to this female officer survival class. It's different, we're
Yeah.
different at the end of the day. We learn different. It's a different training environment
Mhm.
versus being around men.
It's a bonding
When
experience too, I'm
you're
sure.
doing, tactical shooting
Mhm.
and ground defense and self defense kind of stuff, a lot of those things make a difference when it's just females versus males. So next week is the last course, and they're just texting today in a group message about who's getting there on Monday. So I get to go instruct that. I'm sad that it's
Oh,
no longer going to be there, but thankfully, we have some relationships with some really strong female police officers at Aiken City and at
mhm.
North Augusta. And we've been talking about we have a lesson plan in the works that has to
Okay.
be approved through the academy and stuff. So
A way to keep it alive, keep
I
it going.
think by next year we should be able to have some more stuff in place, and we've
Great.
had all the support from my lieutenant captain, chief deputy, to the sheriff of supporting this
Mhm.
type of thing and making it a group agency effort of, and I hate to say that it should be mandatory, but I think it's very important to make it mandatory, if
Yeah.
you will, to keep the network going and just, the face-to-face training at least once or twice a year and just checking in on each other, you
Absolutely.
know, because it's very easy to just go to work every day and just worry about yourself and just do this
Mhm.
thing and not,
Connect with
keep
all these
that,
other women.
yeah, keep that group connection going because it's just in the long run, it's better to have that support
Absolutely.
for a lot of reasons.
I feel like you're gonna find a way to keep it going.
I think
Getting
we'll,
there, right?
I got a lot on my plate right now with this new promotion, but
Hey,
yeah,
that's a
we're
good
going to
thing.
keep it going because I've seen what it does.
That's great.
And it changes police officers,
I can only imagine.
your level of confidence or, I mean, just so many things after you leave there. And
And we learn so much from each other. You may be with a female that's not even doing the same thing you're doing as in job description, but you learn from each other so much.
absolutely. I mean, and you have to be open to learning your entire career because once you stop growing and you're just comfortable,
True.
nothing's going to change.
Nope.
And when you change a little bit and you let that uncomfortableness in and you start growing, you'll see it in somebody else and then
Mhm.
they'll say something very little that you thought was very little like
Mhm.
down the road and they'll say,
Stuck with you.
that was really important that you said that to me or you did that or that training.
That's
And
great.
I don't even think that it's a big deal, but it was very big to them.
Definitely.
And that's what, we need to
More
keep
of that.
going.
We really do. That's so true. That is so true. That's very true. So in 2015, you were a canine handler.
Yeah.
That's when I
So
started digging in. I'm like, this is great. The canine police officers are really cool, I think. Tell us a little bit about that.
so we've always had like narcotics detection, one or two canines, and then we've had an explosive detection canine.
Oh,
And then separate from that, we have a bloodhound tracking team,
okay.
which is more or less just a big group of dogs, and then you have a group of handlers that they handle all those. Whereas the canine detection, it's one handler, one dog. And you take that dog home with you. You're responsible for them just as if it were another child.
Right.
And I just like had a passion and desire, like I want to be that. Like I want to be that. Like, and it didn't really even occur to me that there weren't any women at our agency doing it. So I dove in and had an opportunity to go up front, and I was like, hey, they got an extra dog up. Like, it's just the way it happened. It was very odd the way it happened.
That is so great.
And it worked out. And that's when I got my first canine. And so I was an explosive detection canine handler. And the funny part about it is, so I just went and, I do my training with Richmond County. They have a bigger program for explosive detection, and they have bomb squad and all that. And it's just closer for me to go train. So I train with them, and then I train here with our canine unit once in a while, but through FOSS after I became an instructor. And then just a few years ago, it was maybe like 2 years ago, I met Shauna. She's from Charleston City, and she is just so eager and new. She got like Rookie of the Year, just excited. And they're like, tell us a
That's
little bit about
great.
yourself. And Shauna said, I'm just so excited to be the first explosive detection canine handler, like in South Carolina. And Tina looked at me, and I was just like, nice to meet you, Shauna.
Yeah, let me introduce myself.
And it's refreshing to see that, because when, you just do it, you're like, I'm just doing it. I'm just doing the thing. But then you're
Right.
like, man, was I the first
You
female?
were.
Like,
Sounds like.
then it changes. Man, maybe I should have been being more of,
A little more outspoken about myself. But you know what? I
Right.
think that's a generational thing too, because this generation is so eager to talk about themselves. Not that that's a bad thing. I'm not saying that at all, but I'm the same way. I was a little more reserved. This was a very big step for me to do this and doing commercials and things like that. I didn't like putting myself out there. I was more of, cheerleader for my team. But we've got to do more of that, because you're right. You were the first, and, toot your own horn when you need to do that. There's a lot of awards and accolades I want to talk about that you have and you bestow, but it's important. I think it is a generational thing that we need to do. We need to do better. So that's why I'm here cheering for you, and I want to cheer all these women that maybe don't cheer for themselves, but we should. It's not egotistical. It's just you're proud of what you've done. You've come a long way, and like you just said, you found out that there wasn't a female. You took the steps to inquire about it, and that's how it started. I went to a women's conference, Women in Automotive, and it was life-changing for me because there was nothing like that before. And some of these women that were on the big stage had on their resume, they're in the car business, but they are automotive industry in some way, but they were TED Talk speakers. I'm like, this is incredible. And almost every single woman got up there and said, let me start by saying, my boss didn't put me in the hat for this. I wasn't suggested. I found out about it, and I just stepped out in faith and said, hey, I'm going to do that. You put your name in the hat for it. No one was pushing you or suggesting you, but it probably would have at some point because you're such an outstanding officer. But you put yourself in the hat, your hat, yourself in for that. That's a big step in faith. And look where it led. That's so incredible. But we need to do that better for ourselves.
Absolutely.
We really do. So that's why I'm here. So let me go down some lines of number one. Tell me, you were a 2015 South Carolina Sheriff Association selected you for Deputy of the Year. That's huge in 2015. Were you
Yeah.
surprised by that?
I was surprised. I was not prepared. Like, it's so funny how, like, when you look back on stuff, you're like, man, I should have done this. I should have done that. But I wasn't who I am today then. And I was just like, I don't know what to say.
Well, they saw that in you for sure.
And it was, all it was doing was I was nominated for it for just doing what I thought was the right thing.
Right.
All it is.
It wasn't just a job. And that's huge. That really is huge.
And I forgot to thank my captain at the time. So they put you up there. You go to this banquet.
Oh, gosh.
You're in front of 48 sheriffs or something,
gosh.
and here I'm just this like little police officer,
Huh.
and I took my dog with me because I'm like, we're going to Myrtle Beach.
Oh,
Let's
too.
go. So that was the funny thing is that, I was in a different place in my life. I didn't have kids. I didn't have the responsibility. That was
your life.
That was my life. So I was like,
Sure.
we're going to Myrtle Beach. We're going to the Sheriff's Association banquet, right? Like,
That's so cool.
it's a big deal. We're getting an award. And I get up there and I think it was streaming. I don't even know. And I'm like, yeah, thanks. Blah, 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 blah. I didn't.
You forget
I
what
did
you
not
say. Yeah.
prepare a speech. I'm
Mhm.
like, that's not necessary.
Right. I'm just going to wing it.
Yeah, let's wing it. That was a terrible idea. So then, and I forget to thank like one of my mentors who's the chief deputy now. I'm talking Jessica. I mean, she's been there for the whole thing. But I should have thanked him for, for that. But I thank him now. I mean, he's been a huge mentor. Our current chief deputy and my captain from when I was in special ops, they've been a huge support. And not only just support, guiding and developing leaders. And
What we need.
they
Absolutely.
8 years especially. That's also a huge factor of why I am where I am. And a lot of times venting about certain things, like they teach you the professionalism of it, like
Yes.
we do that back here. But
Here's how we
and
go about
and
that.
that saves me sometimes because I am passionate about things, and especially when I think it's right or wrong, I'm gonna let you know.
That's good.
I'm honing that.
Well,
I'm trying to keep it.
they've seen all your good qualities. They know they're going to push you to do better and better things. That's awesome. And to have such a good support group. That's incredible.
So
Good for you.
that was an award that was on a lot of attention.
I'm sure
But
it was. I'm sure you did great. I'm sure you did great. So, the Greg Alia Police Award. Well, tell us about that. And also, well, so that's 10 years forward. You is when you won that in 2025 this year. So
yeah.
tell us what that is.
So deep memory stuff today. It's just a lot sometimes to talk about.
That's okay.
So how did that happen? Well, and it's a whole story.
So this was
really.
you were honored
So I
by
don't
Serve and Connect.
Serve and Connect was started by Cassie. Her husband was killed in the line of duty,
Okay.
and she started Serve and Connect. And
It's okay. Hey, I get it. Again, I'm in awe of you guys. It's amazing. I don't know how you do what you do, but you're obviously a pivotal part of this.
I just need a second.
You're fine. You're fine. Take all the time you need. All the time you need.
So she had called me, and I knew of Cassie for a long time. And oh my gosh, why am I being so emotional?
I'm bringing up all the memories. You're good. You're doing so good.
So
I'm in awe of her right now. I'm just like,
the funeral was a huge moment in my career. I mean, it's so impactful.
yes, you're okay.
It's so impactful when you see what really happens.
And then you see the family behind the officer too. There's a whole nother level.
Yeah. So that's when, it was impactful for me to be a part of that and witness it and then see Cassie grow and then do good things over time. And that award, the community nominates you
Wow. Okay.
mostly.
That makes sense.
So to know that you are doing the right thing for your community and making a difference is just huge.
Overcoming obstacles like that are tough, but they make you who you are, I'm sure.
I'm so sorry.
No, please.
And this is why women don't like to share this side of themselves, especially police officers don't.
But you obviously put your heart and soul into what you do.
Because that's another thing about how women are just different.
We are.
We're more emotional. We have different nervous systems. That's why we're getting like this, because it's very important to know, what police officers do for their community and just the risk that they take every day.
The sacrifice.
And when he made that ultimate sacrifice was over somebody shoplifting, and his wife was left with a 6-month-old baby.
That's tough.
And to listen to a woman cry, it really changes you.
I'm sure it does.
And that's
That
why
badge protects a lot of us.
That's why I get so emotional about it, is because
I don't think
seeing
people
somebody
get
so
it.
broken like Cassie and being resilient enough to come back and see what she's created for her community. And it's not just Aiken, it's not just Columbia, it is South Carolina, and it's growing.
And Cassie is a police officer.
No,
She's not. Okay. So she's just an advocate.
she's just, yeah.
Wow. The way you talked about her, I assumed she was a police officer. So she's just the wife that took on the role, and she's just a huge advocate for you guys.
Yeah, she's so she started Serving Connect because she couldn't understand why people would want to hurt police officers, and where this is an olive branch for police officers and community to start building more positive relationships.
Okay.
Because like I said, she couldn't understand why somebody would want to not only, hurt a police officer, but to kill them. And it's just like, who does know that? But all we can do is try to make a difference in our community, try to get everyone to understand the importance of, just being good humans. And we're not here just to take people to jail. We're not here to be an inconvenience in your day or your life. We are members of this community,
Right.
And we want our children to be in a safe place.
Protect and serve, it takes it to a whole nother level because you're doing it for you're protecting your community, you're protecting your own family, and it's such a huge brotherhood. I can only imagine when one of your soldiers falls, regardless of how, it's got to be hard, and
It
you
is.
band together.
It is. And I think it's over the years, you kind of get numb to it in a way. But there's ones that are that will stand out to you.
Of course, we're desensitized. It's really sad.
It is. The more experiences you have in law enforcement, negative and critical or traumatic, like all the things that they're exposed to every day.
Hmm.
All of our road officers, our investigators, we have to see the worst of the things. We're problem solvers. That's why people call us.
Sure.
And it's like you just get calloused. But the group of girls that we have now have been a huge support to me to make me not stay that way.
Right.
Show me that we have to keep moving forward. We have to be positive. We need to be here for our community because if we don't stand up and do it, it's just not going to
It's
exist.
not going to happen.
And
Yeah.
we need to,
And like I said, showing the generations that are coming behind you how females can be strong in this position and, do it for the right reasons. It's not just a job. You guys take on a whole nother level. You strap up and you've got your armor on, literal armor on. I mean, it makes me proud to have you guys in Aiken County for sure. And I like the training. I think there needs to be more of that because you learn from each other. Some people may
absolutely.
not want to take that plunge. They may think they do, but a few days in, you might get discouraged. So it's so good to encourage
There,
one another.
the discouragement gets there even when you're 10 years in, when you're 12 years in.
I
There's
bet.
things that happen when you're trying to move up,
Hmm.
when you're trying to grow. You could be the most qualified for the position
Hmm.
and apply for it, and you're still not going to be selected at times. And there's going to be people that you feel like they don't have all the things
Yeah.
that you have, and you get discouraged quite a bit. And it's much better to have each other there
Yeah.
to be like, listen,
That's when you just keep
I've
rocking
been
and
there.
rolling and showing them you can do it better.
It happens, and it's going to be okay because I wasn't put where I thought I was supposed to be years ago.
Right.
Yep. Savannah's over there.
That's great.
Y'all are killing me.
That is so good.
God put you where you're supposed to be.
Amen. And I think you're finding out you're where you're supposed to be because let me tell you, just the support you've got in this room is huge. How big is your faith with what you do every day? I can only imagine. I'm sure it gets tested. I'm sure it gets tested.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you think about, I don't know,
I know I don't know
just thinking about the beginning of your career and stuff. It just makes it,
and how far you've come.
church isn't just a place. It's not a building.
That's right.
It's in your patrol car every day, and I don't think that it matters really what faith you are, but whatever you do believe, believe that. Go to the church that you want to go to,
Mhm.
but don't think that because people don't go to specific churches, they don't believe in God and they don't have faith that you're where you're supposed to be.
Right.
And, that's,
I get it. I get it. It's emotional. I know. I get choked up listening to you.
she's going to wish she didn't have
She's
me.
got all the heart that it takes to be a police officer. That's for sure.
I never used to be like this.
I don't look at this as weakness. Please understand. I think that's strength. And what you're showing me right now is this little Millie Ann. She's looking at mom at 4 years old, and she's going to say, "I'm going to be a tough woman just like my mom."
But you know what?
It gives me chills.
That's what had also a big influence on changing me, and it's the hormones. I still say, when I get emotional about something, I'm postpartum.
Yeah,
They're like,
leave me alone.
she's 4. And I'm like, it doesn't matter.
It never ends.
Still true.
It never
Still
ends.
true. I think it's just part of maturing as a woman when you start to get like you're emotional about these things when, things change in your life, especially when you have a child and you look at things different.
Absolutely.
And balancing being a police officer and being a mother sometimes is very hard to do.
Sure. And she has 2 police officers as parents.
Yeah, and I hope that she's never a police officer. I hope that
But she's going to be strong. You better believe it.
gonna be.
She already?
I think she's 50. She's 51% of me.
There you go.
Yeah, raising a child is. You think being a police officer is hard?
Try being a mom. You're so right.
Absolutely, it is. It's one of the most rewarding, most difficult, patient, trying times
No kidding.
of your life because you think about you think about how you want them to act when you're
Sure.
not around, how you want them to be accepted. And then you worry about how they're going to be treated and you want to
Sure.
protect them from that and all the things. But the more you try to protect them, I don't think that, you're doing them a service and knowing how to handle it
Sure.
when they
Get that.
do face the things that you're like, nobody's going to treat you like that. Well, people are going to treat them like that.
That's right.
And I think the important thing is to try to raise her and support her to, yes, be strong willed. And she definitely knows what she likes and what she wants to do. And don't lose that. But at the same time, you know,
Yeah.
know when to unleash it.
That's right.
I guess. Don't let people
I feel
push
like
you
she's going to
around.
learn that from you very well.
She's a force. She is a
I could
character.
imagine.
And she is definitely strong willed and I love that. And I love seeing that. But sometimes when you see
You're like, look what
all
I've
of you
look what I've
in
created.
in that tiny human, you're like,
Whoops, what have I done? What have I done?
yeah,
That's great. So
exactly.
you live out, I'm not gonna say you live on a farm, but you have lots of animals, chickens, goats, livestock.
Wow.
So
So,
she's being raised the country way. Did you think a Michigan girl would be raising a country girl in the South?
first of all, I never thought I'd be raising a girl
Okay.
because I was going to have children, but they would be
There would be
boys.
boys, yeah. Easy.
But now when I look at my friends that have raised boys and are raising boys, I'm like,
Yeah,
how do you do that? Because it's stressing me out, because boys are wild.
sure. Oh yeah, I
I
have one.
mean, I don't know how you do it. I wasn't built for that.
3
You
girls
know,
and 1 boy.
Million is
Learn from every
all I can handle,
That's great.
and she's plenty. Definitely the biggest blessing in life for sure.
What a blessing. What a blessing. I've kept you too long. I'm so sorry.
Oh, you're
I have
fine.
enjoyed this so much, but I have to comment on the last thing that you said because this was like I said, this is my like, girl right here. You said I miss patrol cars being Crown Vic.
Can I get a witness?
Oh, they're
A two?
hey, if you can see it, they're over here giving me the hallelujah. So obviously we're in the car business. You just don't see Crown Vics much anymore. Fords, they were
You
boats, they were
but
fast.
you could drive them.
You could drive them. They did. You talk about pitting a runaway person. That's a pit car right there. You could do some serious pits. Tell me why you missed the Crown Vics. They were real cars.
So the funny thing is, my first
Crown
car as a
Victorias,
cadet.
Ford Crown Victorias. I need to say it
Yeah,
properly.
I mean we call them Crown
Crown
Vics.
Vics.
If you're listening, bring them back.
Yeah.
The first car I had was a Chevy Caprice.
Oh wow.
It was even bigger.
That was that was bigger than a Crown
That was
Vic.
the cadet car. We all shared that car. That was like in 2000. But yeah, so the Crown Vic is where it's at. And then,
That's a police car.
I've had a Charger. It's just my opinion. Just
Uh-oh.
throw that out there so nobody's going to be.
Coming for you.
Everybody has their preference, but you have all this stuff and you
Mhm.
have this vest that it's like, you're already at a disadvantage of driving comfortably. How you would
yeah.
drive your personal
It's
car.
not like you can unload that every time you get in the car.
And getting out of a car and in a car and being able to put your seatbelt on with all this stuff. Like
You're
and
like the
then you
Michelin
have-
man in there.
Yeah, you have all your radios and your mics and everything's like you have even less space. You're
Sure.
crammed in here and it's like a cockpit, when you're in a Charger and then the lights here, it's like you can't see. And
hmm
then the Tahoe.
They're just big,
I mean, you can't drive it like you can
fast.
drive in the curves and the thing.
That's
For
true.
sure. So I learned that.
And what are the main county cars right now? I know they're Chargers and they're Explorers.
Explorers. We have a few pickup trucks that are on patrol.
I've seen the F-150s out
And they
there.
have those. And that it's like it's hard to find a balance when you have the longer you're in law enforcement, the more stuff you have, the
Mhm.
more tools you have, because you also experience all kinds of different calls. And you're like, well, if I would have had this,
Yes.
that would have helped me.
What did you drive when you had the K9?
A Tahoe.
Okay. That makes sense.
Forever. But they have
And what was your name?
some
What was the name of
agencies-
your K9? I forgot to ask you that.
So my current canine who's still working, I left him at home today. I'll have to stop
Oh,
back
you
by.
gotta bring him.
We'll bring him. He'd like to be on your podcast.
We would love to have him.
His name's Lord.
Lord. Well, I saw that in your description, in your
Yeah.
bio. I was like, I've got to ask her what.
So he
Canine
is
Lord.
7.5. He's a yellow lab. He
I thought that was your title.
no,
Canine Lord.
that's his name. It's all capitals. He earned that from the vet. The
Oh.
vet said anytime a dog comes in with all capital names, it's because they earned it, like they're bad.
Wow. Hey, that's
It's a fact.
impressive.
For
Please
him.
bring him back.
We'll bring him. acts like he's a Malinois. He's a yellow lab.
Oh my goodness, Braden's gonna go nuts for this. She raises Malinois. She's a
I
dog
took her
trainer. Have you
out
met her?
in the
Yeah, have you
parking
met
lot.
her? When I read your bio, she was like, "Oh yeah." Her head was just bouncing. She was excited.
Yeah, we'll bring him. We could bring some other canines by too, but
We would love
they
that.
have guy handlers.
We have to meet Lord. We have to meet him.
We'll bring him, but our canine car right now is an Explorer,
Okay.
and that's what our agency is kind of going towards the Explorers right now. I don't know if I should mention one of the newer cars. I don't. Spoiler alert.
Oh, give us the tea.
Well, we're gonna end up with a new patrol car. That's a Ford.
Okay.
It's gonna be going to our community policing division. Should I say? I got one saying yeah, one saying no.
Okay. Maybe we'll give us a hint. You won't be telling us.
They might.
Here I'm getting officer in trouble.
We might be getting a Mustang.
I was gonna guess that. That was my first car.
How fun is that?
That would be great.
In community events, the kids are gonna love that.
Highway Patrol had Mustangs for a long time,
and I think they have them down in Florida now. Currently,
I bet
with
that makes
patrol,
sense.
like State Patrol, I think has them. But that'll be a fun car.
That will be really fun.
I do not want to be trying to get in and out of that thing though.
Again, yeah, with all your gear. Well, we're gonna wrap up with one last question. What was your first car?
It was a first car.
Mine was a Mustang. It wasn't a glamorous one, but that was
there
mine.
was no glamour to my car because it's so funny. It was a 1988 Grand Am.
That was a cool car.
No, it wasn't.
In '88, it was cool.
It was a 4-door, and I lived in Michigan, so it was completely rusted out. The fenders. Oh, sorry, I hit the thing again. But we were when my brothers and I were growing up, our parents were like, whenever you get your first car, we'll pay for half.
Okay.
So, and this is just an example of how, like, my older brother and I are so different. Because people think we are the same sometimes, and we're not. Because my older brother, he's a year older. So he saved and saved and saved. And I'm just like, I can't wait to get my license and drive, right? And I think that Joker probably saved $1,500 or $2,000.
No way.
To put towards his half, right? And I worked and worked. When I got to $250, I was like, we're buying a car this weekend for $500, right? And my mom and dad were like, sold, right?
Yeah.
So my mom was coming home. She was working at a factory, and she's like, they got this car out on the corner for sale. And I was like, done. I got my $250. Like, I couldn't wait to go get that car. And I bought it, and I was out there learning how to change the tires on it, 15 years old,
God, Michigan.
And my dad's like, if you get a flat tire, you're going to need to know how to change it. So before you drive, we also had to be responsible to pay our own car insurance and all the maintenance on the car and stuff.
Sure.
And I'm like, easy.
Yeah.
Done,
I got it. I saved so much buying the car. I can afford it. I can afford the insurance.
It's terrible. But I mean, that's how driven I was to like get to
get on the road.
And I was like, yeah.
And look at you now.
The independence. And, I should probably thank my parents for that. Like,
that's cool. What a good
where
lesson.
I get that from.
What a good lesson.
But yeah, Pontiac Grand Am.
Mary, thank you for being with us today. I've enjoyed this so much. You've got to come back with Lord.
Thank you for having me.
We're going to have to do a part 2. We're going to have to bring in on some of your homies and get their point of view on things. But I just love this. I just love your story. It's so empowering. It really is. And I can't thank you enough for coming and sharing with us today. Thank you, Kevin, for bringing her on.
Thanks, Creed.
Thanks all the higher ups that approved it. I appreciate that so much. I just think it's really important for us to stick together as females and support each other and get these young girls in their positions that they really know they can do.
Absolutely.
They can do it, right? Thank you so much for being with us today. Thank you for joining us today on the podcast, and join us next time on the Car Queens podcast, driven by Drive Crescent.